That was a backflip, and that required me to turn my brain off. So I'm here at the beach, swimming in the cold water during the cold midday, because it requires you to turn off your brain. So did that backflip right there. So I'm going to be teaching you why you need to turn off your brain and how to do it. So before anything, if you don't want to listen to me, just turn your brain off and listen right now, because if we're being honest and we're taking the ego away, we aren't where we want to be in our lives. So you're probably not where you want to be in your life exactly right now. And why? It's because of your brain, right? So your brain has put you where you are. Your brain has made you procrastinate. Your brain has put off the hard work because it was too difficult for you. And it's made the excuses that it's too cold, there's no sun out, you're warm in your bed. This is all your brain's doing. So if you turn that off and just listen to me, you will understand better and how to turn off your brain, and that will make you, quite literally make you, get rid of procrastination, excuses, your own brain turning on you and stopping you from fulfilling yourself. There's a duck behind me. Right, yeah, I am at the beach, so this is a public location. I am quite embarrassed to record this because there's people behind me, there's people in front of me. But anyways, let's get into it. Right. So turning off your brain is actually a very simple process, and there are few things that you can actually do to make turning off your brain and just acting instead of thinking before you act. There's few things that you can do to help you get better at turning your brain off. So like I said with that backflip, and like I showed you with that backflip, I have tried many times on a trampoline to jump and do a backflip, but by thinking about it. When I was jumping, I thought about it. When I started to do the backflip, I thought about it. And what do you think that got me to do? I landed on my neck. I necked it. My body, my whole body collapsed over my head and on my neck because I thought about it before I actually did it. There's a boat. For God's sake. So if you think about the thing you want to do, for example, if it was a physical thing like a backflip, if you think about it before you do it, that is you preoccupying yourself. So you're spending energy and brain points on thinking about it, and it will actually slow you down. It's like adding weight to your walk or to your run. It's going to slow you down, if not just make you neck it. So turning off your brain is a very powerful thing, because it then Miyamoto Musashi talks about it a lot. He was a masterful samurai back in the day, and he talks about it a lot. If your brain is not completely off, and like not off like a retard, don't be dumb, but if it's off and you're not thinking, but you just act and you just flow, that's when you can achieve basically everything. And not only achieve things, but it was also voted as the number one thing you can do to make yourself more happy. So people did a survey, and it was found that people in places where they are the least present, like the least here, like brain off in the moments that they were least present, they were the least happy. So, ooh, thunder, nice. I don't know if you can hear that. So if you were in the car in traffic, no one is present in traffic. They're always thinking about what they're going to eat when they get home, what they're going to do when they get home, when is this traffic going to end, what music to play. That's when they are least happy, because they are least present. And in places where they are the most present and the most there and the most the least brain activity is when they are the most happy. So you can achieve anything, you can feel the most happy, you can actually stop turning on yourself. And so this is the value of turning your brain off. Now, one of the things you can do is just focus on focus completely on the task at hand. So for me, I was walking into the lake just now, and I was about to submerge myself fully, and I started thinking about it. I started to feel, right? So feeling is also something that thinking brings to you, so you want to eradicate feeling. I was thinking, which led to me feeling, and then thinking about how I was going to feel. So I started thinking, what you want to do is you want to focus completely at the task at hand. Imagine you're meditating. People meditate and focus on their breath. Some people do this with their fingers and focus on the feeling of their fingers when they meditate. But for me, it was just feeling the cold. So I was getting into the cold water, and I wasn't exactly thinking about it, but my body was feeling it. I wasn't feeling it in my head like, oh, it's gonna feel bad. My body was feeling it. It was a sensation, and that sensation was what I was focusing on. If you focus on one thing, not think about it, but focus on it, like feel it, be in the moment with it, then that's when you can usually just act without your brain holding you back, right? So if you're typing, doing schoolwork, or you're working, or you're typing, or you're messaging someone on the computer, feel each click of your finger making a different letter on the screen. That can be a way of feeling. You can feel the keyboard, you can feel the words typing out, you can think about the words, you can feel the words coming to life. If you think about what you want to write while you're actually writing it, it's going to mess up how fluid you can actually write. I think we've all been in that situation where you think about what you're gonna write, and then you try to type it, and it doesn't come out exactly how you wanted it to. But it is really difficult, actually, to focus on the thing that you're doing while you're doing it. So through time, our brains have, especially us, we're fucking idiots. Our generation is trained to have short form content with the scrolling and all that, social media short form content stuff. So it's actually really difficult for us to focus on one thing that we're doing in the moment while it's happening. So you can meditate for a very long time. Like you can meditate for 5-10 minutes a day for a couple of months, and you will feel that your attention span gets better, and then you can focus on things more in depth and for longer. Meditation is a great practice, but especially in getting rid of your doubts in your own mind, getting rid of the excuses, getting rid of how you speak to yourself and how you actually overthrow your action with thinking about it too much. So meditation is actually a great way to train yourself to do that in the long term. The waves are picking up, and it seems like rain is expected. If I am fully focused on the next word that I'm going to say while I record this to you, it's not gonna come out the way I want it to. So right now I don't have any thoughts in my brain. If I did have thoughts, I would be stumbling on my words, I would stutter, I wouldn't be able to get the words out. And you can actually really feel this when you're in conversation with someone. If you've never felt it before, you can just recall the last time you had a conversation with someone, and that's how it feels to be in that flow state mode where you're not thinking about the next thing that should come. So what I actually do before I got in the water, like I told you what I did when I got into the water, but before I did that, I ran to the beach just now with jacked up feet, jacked up knees, muscles are hurting, all of that. I had to get out of my comfortable, thick clothing, my jacket, I had to get out of my shirt, I had to change my pants into these swim shorts that I have on. And to get myself to turn my brain off and do that, which would then initiate the run, which would then initiate the swim in the freezing cold water. What I had to do with that is like stress meditation, like active stress meditation is what I'm gonna call it. So you know how during meditation, when you're breathing, you want to focus on the sound of the sound or the feeling of the air going in and out of your nose, or in your nose and out your mouth. That's what you're focusing on, right? So what I tried to do was like I was kind of hyperventilating, like stressing myself out using breathing. But what I was doing was really like leaving no space for me to drift in my mind. So if I was focusing on my breath, I would not have a moment when I wasn't breathing. I would always be breathing. So I was focusing on that breath while I was doing the activities. I was getting my shoes, getting my socks on, changing my clothes, packing my bag, which is not gone yet. It's not stolen. But if you just keep something, like a focus on something that cannot be broken, there's no space to break the focus. So don't give yourself a heart attack. Don't absolutely freak yourself out, especially if this is at night, what you're doing. But if you leave like if I breathe in and I hold it, that hold has space for you to drift in your mind. Or if you breathe out, that kind of gives a little bit of space for you to drift in your mind. When you're constantly breathing and you have no hold, you have no dead space, there's no space for you to drift in your mind. When you do a backflip, you don't stop midair and like, oh, okay, let me calm down and see how I'm gonna grab my legs, or how I'm gonna tuck, how I'm gonna rotate. No, you just fall flat on your back, right? So if you leave no space to drift in your mind, that's why combat sports and sparring is such an interesting thing. It's like when you get hit, it's almost like an hour of meditation. That's so much presence that you just got hit with right there. It's like involuntary meditation, right? So it's the same with a backflip. It's the same with getting hit in the face. You're not thinking. When you see when you see people doing, Muhammad Ali doing like the great head movement in his fights, it's not him thinking about, oh, he's going to do that, so let's go under there, and oh, he's going to do that, so the most efficient thing to do now is duck under. He doesn't think about that. If he thought about that, he'd be knocked out on the ground face down. His nose would be scrunched on the floor, right? It's all in the flow. It's all in the like stress meditation, where there's no space for your mind to wander, no space for your mind to drift. And achieving that is very difficult. Especially, you can achieve it in very risky situations, like when you're doing a flip off of something, or a flip onto something, or you're jumping off of something high. You're doing sparring, you're doing a fight. Like I have a few fights on my channel, I've done that. I've been in the cage with someone who's trying to kill me, throwing head kicks at me and stuff. It's that involuntary, like meditation, stress meditation type of thing, stress breathing, when your brain just kind of shuts down, and that's when you can be in the best flow you've ever been in your entire life. You're most happy then. Like I realized well, it's quite obvious when you don't think about something, or when you're fully present and there in the moment, you're most happy. But I also felt like in the fights that I've had, when I'm the closest to death that I've ever been in my life, that's when you feel most alive. So be in those spaces. I think it's starting to rain. Be in those spaces when there's like no space, no time, and no there's no capacity for you to fail. There's no capacity for you to get out of that focused state. Because if you get out of that state, you're going to get kicked in the head, or you're going to land on your head, or you're going to whatever it might be. Alright, so put yourself in those situations. Because it also gives you a more fulfilling life. Like if I would have sat inside and watched those motivation videos with David Goggins talking about how you have to suffer, and all of those videos that you watch all day, would I be more fulfilled watching one of those, or actually just going out, turning my brain off and doing it? Right, so leave there to be no space for you to fail, no space for you to think, because thinking is what brought you to this position where you are, and you don't want to be, right? You guys, I hate you. Look at this hurts. I'm on rocks. Ow. Right, look at this is where I am. My dogs. I got in the water. I've also been gymming a bit as well. Putting some muscle on, putting some mass on. Looking good. Yeah, so the main things I would tell you to do to live like a happier, more fulfilling, more intense life, while achieving this kind of flow state, right, is go and do things that are risky. Go and get in some cold water that shivers you to the bones, and stuff that turns your brain off. Like, this is so cold, it turns your brain off. That increases your ability to be focused more. It increases your ability to shut off those voices on the inside of your head that are telling you not to go do these things, right? So meditation helps. Cold water helps. Do risky things like backflips, like learn a backflip. Go join a fight gym and do some sparring. Lift some weights. Go on a run. Like, I have no shirt. I didn't bring a shirt. I just got out of the cold water. I've just got this wet towel and my wet swim shorts and some water, and that's all I have. So I'm gonna be running back in the cold, back to my house. So go do some risky things. Go on some adventures, like ride your bike to a different place. Run to a different place. Go places alone, right? Go do some fun things. And then that will build your character and your ability to turn your brain off and actually go do things. Hold on, let me think. So now let's talk about the brain points. Like I mentioned it earlier, I believe. But brain points is like you wake up, let's say like a game, like a video game, you wake up with 100 brain points, right? Or 10. Let's just say 10 to make it simpler. So you wake up and then you think about the cold shower you have to do. You think about the workout you have to do. And you think about the cold shower so much that it costs you like 2 brain points to actually do it. Then you think about the workout so much that it actually costs you 3 brain points to actually go do the workout and finish it. And then throughout the day, you're already spending like 5 brain points before it's even midday. And it's actually easier for you and for your life. Like, you feel better. It is easier for you to do the hard stuff, right? And this is why. If you just turn off your brain, like, think about your brain points as procrastination. You sit inside, you sit in the shower, the water's running, and you're thinking about it. That's spending your brain points. If you decrease the amount of brain points you spend, the easier your life gets, the better you feel. There are ducks everywhere, man. So if you just turn off your brain and you just get in the shower, you get in the cold water, you go do the workout without thinking, like being present fully. Maybe you do the stress meditation breathing thing, where you leave no space for thoughts and negative brain activity. You don't leave space for yourself to think about not doing it. You just do it. You spend less brain points. Like, instead of using 2 brain points to get in the shower, you use 1. Or you use none because you just didn't even think about it. You just got up, you ran to the shower, and you got in. There's a duck right here, hold on. Hello, duck. Where are they? Hello, ducks. Cool. So if you don't think about it, you don't complain, you don't do anything you don't leave space for yourself to procrastinate it or wait, then you just do it. And when you just do it, it's a lot easier. You feel more fulfilled. You're like, instead of, like, I got out of the cold water, you expect me to be shivering and go, oh, I'm never doing that again, that was so cold. No. I go, oh, wow, that was amazing. Let's do it again. I'm so glad I did that. So if you use less brain points and you just get in, you feel more fulfilled. You're happier with yourself. Like, you can finally sit down at the end of the day against your bed and think, I did that, right? So just use less brain points, stop thinking about it, and just go do it, right? So I've taught you how to turn your brain off. And now, with turning your brain off, you're going to use less brain points. And you're going to have more energy throughout the day. You're going to have more brain power and points throughout the day to spend on your work and speaking to people. You feel you're less irritable during those times when you have higher brain points. You're just happier. It's just more fulfilling. So if you turn off your brain before you do the thing and while you're doing the thing, you use less brain points. And when you use less brain points throughout the day, you have higher energy, you're more fulfilled, and all of these benefits. Like you feel the best in your entire life, pretty much, because you've always been told not to take the risks. Think about it before you do it. Think about the risk, like, oh, if I take a shower during winter, if I get in the cold water while it's not sunny out, it's not warm, I might get sick. Just turn your brain off. What you've been told is not, like, if you have followed everything you've been told up until this point, and you're still not where you want to be, then something's not working. So just follow my advice. It'll help us both. Like, if you've watched this far, it's going to drive up my, it's going to put me on more people's algorithms, and then more people will watch it, so that's better for me. But it's also better for you, and your whole life will change, right? So don't think about it, just do it. Take more risks. Of course, don't jump out of a plane head first into the ground. Don't try backflips on the ground without people there to help you, or without safety. Like, take responsibility for yourself. Don't be an idiot, right? But yeah, I recently actually got a friend back from South Africa, where I used to live. I made videos there as well, so if you want to go back into my channel, you can see some of the earliest videos I made were there. I have a friend there who I just got into jiu-jitsu. I referred him to one of the gyms I went to back there, and like one of the best gyms there. And I hope he just turned off his brain, went into the gym, because this is the type of guy he is, right? He turned off his brain, went into the gym. He said it was a bit weird at the start, like jiu-jitsu is very close proximity. It's very uncomfortable when you get into it. It's all about being close to people, having your head on their head, and like being close, right? So he said it was weird, but he is the type of guy to turn off his brain. And he just turned off his brain, he went through the lesson, and it was really, really nice for him. Now he goes twice a week. If he would have had his brain on, like, oh no, I don't want to be this close to guys, I don't want to do this, this is too difficult, then he might not have gone, he might not have enjoyed it as much, he might not have stuck with it, and now that he's stuck with it, he's going to become way stronger. He's not a liability around the people that he spends time with, right? So he goes out with his mom now, and he's the guy people look to for safety. Like, he's the one that's able to protect the people around him. And that's such like a purposeful thing, right? Because when I started training, I automatically knew right away, I'm the guy they look for now to protect them. So yeah, there's so many benefits of turning off your brain. Hopefully what I've taught you will help you to actually turn off your brain and do things like this. Because your life will become so much better with this skill of just, like, it's isn't that funny? It's the opposite of what everyone tells you to do from when you're growing up, right? Everyone tells you, I'm filming this on a rock, right? So it's the opposite of what people tell you to do when you're growing up. Like, think about things, don't take too many risks because it might be dangerous. Don't do a backflip, that's too dangerous. Don't get in the cold water, you might get sick. It's the opposite of that that actually makes us feel purposeful. It gives us like a meaning to why we live. Like we've grown up to feel so directionless and purposeless. And now that you've turned off your brain and done the opposite of what they tell you to do, now you're feeling good, you're feeling purposeful, you're feeling masculine, you're feeling like you can take on the cold water now, you can take on the death backflip that everyone says it's a really dangerous, like, death wish. Now you can take it on. Now you can run the farthest you've ever run in your entire life because you turned your brain off, you put the shoes on, you got out the door. So there is no bad side to turning off your brain and doing what I've taught in this video. Take what I've learned. Don't mess up. Turn your fucking brain off, alright? Good day.